have a gathering of our fluent speakers here in Tahlequah. I think this could be the largest ever. It's something we want to make an annual event as part of our historic effort to revitalize the Cherokee language. And we had a number of people, tribal leaders, address this crowd today. They're going to enjoy a meal. Made some announcements on how we can continue to push for language revitalization in the Cherokee Nation. Well, Durbin Feeling was a great man and a great friend, and the first time I saw his name was when I was a not-so-great Cherokee language student in college, and I saw that Durbin Feeling had created a dictionary that was useful to us students. And then years later, I would realize as I became a Cherokee Nation official what he had done, who he had inspired, that it was people like me who saw his writings and a great many more people who followed in his footsteps to perpetuate the Cherokee language. And so he did such a tremendous job of educating people, of perpetuating what it means to be Cherokee, of doing all he could with his career and really every ounce of his being to keep the Cherokee language alive. That's the reason the building, the Language Center, bears his name. That's the reason our landmark Durbin Feeling Language Preservation Act bears his name. That's why the United States Senate Indian Affairs Committee pushed and passed legislation at the federal level called the Durbin Feeling Act. He was an amazing man who left a great impact. We want to do right by him and continue what he did.
So our Creator, He brings us to a spot together, and no doubt we are gathered here in the center of what we all want to do. Not just save the language, but as many have said before, but to perpetuate that language, because it is a language of love. It is a language that has stood the test of time since time immemorial. And we have a lot of work to do today, so I'm glad that you're all gathered here today, because the work does not stop today. Love one another, fellowship with one another, visit, meet new people, because the more that language is heard throughout, individuals like me, individuals in my family household, can understand what it means to say Gagayui, I love you, in Cherokee. These things are so important.
Our language department's budget stood at $5.6 million, and our facilities at that time were undersized. The Durbin Feeling Act pushed us to commit $20 million to build our new state-of-the-art language center, which sits just across the way. It pushed us to commit $18 million to open our new language campus in Adair County in the community of Greasy. Thanks to that law, we ramped up our operating dollars for our language program from $5.6 million in 2019 to $18 million plus today.
When Chief says that we are going to go into other communities and start these programs into other communities, I can't think of a better way than to get our youth engaged. If you've ever been to Concord School, we visited. It's crazy. You know, if you've been in Sam's, they got the projector that shoots on the floor and you almost kind of fall because it messes you up. Well, at Concord, they've got the Cherokee word of the day. And every time you walk by, they're projecting it on the floor. They're projecting different things so those kids see that every single day.
Well, our goal is by the end of this decade, and this is a goal that we share with our brothers and sisters in indigenous lands, tribal lands around the world. It's the International Decade of Language Preservation. All right, and so our goal is by the end of the decade to be producing, creating, inspiring more speakers than we're losing. And I have to say candidly, we are behind, but the investments we've made, particularly the last 4 years, mean that we've got little kids in immersion school who are going to replace, if you will, those elders who pass on. And that's what we have to do. And we've created programs to not only inspire these young people, but to give them something to do with their lives to use the language. With that strategy, I think by the end of this decade, we will see that we'll have a net increase in fluent speakers, and that's our goal.